Yeah, well, I think you mean on the 30th, if we could jump a day. So right now, we don't have launch opportunities on the 30th, the 1st, the 30th, the 31st, and the 1st. So our next opportunity would be the 2nd. So, and if you need more clarification on the other, let me know, but I think we're good.
I'm John Bisney with University of Florida Press. Maybe a question for Megan. Can you tell us where the Vice President will be watching the launch from, and would you expect her to speak to the team after in the firing room if you have a successful launch?
Yes, I believe the Vice President will be watching from nearby here at the press site, and then I think the plan is to hopefully have her speak at the LCC, and we'll try to bring that to you live on the launch broadcast. Okay, and then over here in the front row. Oh, over here in the front row.
Hi, Eric Berger with Ars Technica. 2 questions, weather related. First of all, I think for Jeff, this is a test flight, obviously. Are there different weather constraints for this mission than you would have down the line? Are you going to be able to sort of close the windows of constraints on launch as you sort of get more experience flying the system? And then maybe for Melody, you know, talking about those launch windows later on where you get in the afternoon, evening, and you get those Florida storms, like if you were launching today at 12:48, or excuse me, tomorrow at 12:48 instead of 8:33, would the confidence be like 40, 50% favorable conditions? Or, and I know you can't give a precise answer, but maybe just talk a little bit about that. Thank you.
I'll defer most of that question to Melody, but our launch criteria for weather is pretty much the same for whenever we're going to launch, and so it'll be pretty standard for, there's not a lot of changes that will be initiated based on, you know, different dates or times in which we would launch. So I don't know if you wanted to add anything to the LCC part. But.
Yeah, that is correct. I think mostly our weather constraints will be the same. The one thing that would not be included in the POV, the probability of violation, that we would just also be tracking is maybe just watching more recovery weather, the marine environment in case the astronauts need to, for some reason, abort or anything like that. And could you repeat the second part of your question? Oh, the timing of the day. Yeah, I think 40 to 50, probably a conservative 40 to 60 would probably be a good estimate. During that time frame, especially with this weak flow that we have, we've seen a lot of showers pop up during that time frame, but they don't move inland very fast. And of course, that's due to the weak flow. So it really depends on exactly where the showers are forming. And it's really not also just about showers. It's about how tall the clouds are before they even produce the precipitation. So in general, yeah, it would be that mid-grade probability of violation during that time.
Another question in the back of the room there.
Thanks, and good morning. Dan Schaefer with Way 31 in Huntsville, Alabama. Just a couple of questions for Melody. If you could be more specific about how you're going to be monitoring the weather up to launch time. Is it just radar satellite, or are you sending balloons up a lot, and how often? And are there planes flying up, and how are you monitoring all the winds and things? And also, taking a look at the weather this morning and the cloud cover, would this violate launch criteria as it sits?
Great question. So we have we have many different ways of tracking the weather. Pretty much everything you listed is the way we're tracking the weather. We have our own radar. We also utilize this National Weather Service Melbourne's backup radar, as well as all the other National Weather Service radars nearby across the state to monitor the showers and the clouds that are forming. Our radar specifically is tuned to locate where the cloud edges are, whereas Weather Service is more tuned to different things, severe weather. But yes, we're also sending up balloons. We also have something called T-DRIP, and we also have the 915 megahertz radars that are sensing the low-level boundary movement of the winds. We have a NASA-supplied jet that we can fly out to any concerning clouds to see exactly where the cloud edges are in case we're wondering if they're violating or going to violate. So, and we also have a Merlin lightning system that we use to track any cloud-to-cloud or cloud-to-ground lightning that is occurring. So we have all the tools to watch that kind of situation. And could you remind me of the second part of your question?
Right now,
yes.
Could you launch with this kind of cloud cover?
I'd have to look at it specifically, but I believe that even though a lot of those showers and thunderstorms are lingering along, I think it is farther away than 10 nautical miles from the flight path. So I think we would be okay. Of course, I don't have radar specifically in front of me right now, but I think we'd be fine. And the good news is a lot of these showers at night follow the warm waters of the Gulf Stream, and exactly where pad 39B is, it's kind of in that sheltered area of the cooler waters. Of course, we are in summer, so a lot of the waters are warm anyway, but it is a little bit of a shelter for the pad.
Back corner?
Hi, Lauren Gresh with Bloomberg. I'm wondering if you could clarify further those blackout dates you were talking about. I believe yesterday Charlie said there were other opportunities to launch that weren't just the second. Perhaps we misunderstood. Some of us thought that maybe there was an option to launch during those blackout dates. Can you just confirm that you cannot launch on those dates if we don't launch on Monday?
Right now, yeah, the 8/29 tomorrow is our first opportunity. The next one after that's the second. Between the 2nd and the 5th, there are opportunities available, which I think Charlie was alluding to. And for example, if we did not tank, for example, on the 2nd for some reason, we could potentially, like maybe weather, we could potentially come back the next day and try again, because that is a day if in fact we got the range and all the other things lined up for us to be able to do that. So there are other dates. If we tank, however, we have to take hydrogen to replenish the quantities that we've used, and that doesn't get us to the next day. So there's a lot to unpack in all of that, but that would then put us to the 5th, because we have to replenish and bring in tankers to replenish our hydrogen. Okay.